Poor 12-year-old black girl saves beaten millionaire in an alley. But beginning. The rain had not stopped all day. It poured down the cracked sidewalks of East Hollow, a neighborhood that had been forgotten by the city's officials long ago. Neon signs flickered weakly, struggling against the storm as though they too were tired of shining. Trash floated through the gutters, carried by brown streams of water that rushed toward the storm drains. In the middle of it all, 12-year-old Aisha Johnson walked quickly, clutching a torn umbrella that was more skeleton than fabric. Her sneakers squished with every step, the soles worn nearly through. She had just left the community center, where she picked up leftover bread loaves the volunteers gave out when the day ended. The bag was heavy, but she carried it proudly. It meant her younger brothers would eat tonight. Aisha was no stranger to hardship. Her father had disappeared years ago, her mother worked 2 cleaning jobs and came home exhausted, and Aisha often had to be the adult. She wasn't bitter about it, she just knew survival didn't allow bitterness. But deep down, she dreamed of something more, a life beyond broken streetlights and empty refrigerators. She turned down an alley to cut home faster. The rain drummed harder on the trash can lids, echoing like thunder in the narrow corridor. She almost missed it, the sound of a groan, faint, but enough to freeze her steps. Aisha looked ahead. At first, she thought it was just another drunk man slumped against the wall, but as she squinted, she saw something different. A figure lay crumpled on the wet pavement. His suit was shredded, his face swollen and bloodied. She saw expensive leather shoes, the kind she had only glimpsed in storefront windows. Her instincts screamed, "Walk away. This isn't your problem." But Aisha's heart tugged harder. She couldn't leave someone like this, no matter who he was. "Sir," she whispered, stepping closer. The man groaned again, lifting his head slightly. His eyes barely opened, but she caught the glimmer of something unusual, fear. "Help," he croaked. Aisha knelt beside him, her little fingers trembling. She had never seen someone beaten this badly. She placed her bread bag down, tore part of her umbrella, and pressed it against a deep cut near his temple. "Who did this to you?" she asked. He coughed, a harsh rattle that made her wince. "They wanted me dead." Her mind raced. She had no phone. No way to call the police. And if she screamed, nobody in East Hollow would come. People here had learned to stay quiet. Still, she couldn't just leave. She helped him sit up, her tiny frame straining against his larger body. "Come on. I'll get you out of here." Middle. The man was half-conscious, barely able to move. Aisha dragged him slowly, bit by bit, toward the end of the alley. The rain made the pavement slick, and her shoes kept slipping, but she didn't give up. At last, they reached an abandoned laundromat across the street. Aisha had played there before with her brothers. It was one of the few places where the roof still held against the rain. She struggled to get him inside, guiding him to lean against the wall. He coughed again, spitting blood onto the floor. Why are you helping me?" Aisha swallowed hard. "Because nobody else will." The man gave a broken laugh, one that sounded more like pain than humor. "You don't know who I am, do you?" She shook her head. "Doesn't matter. You're hurt." For a moment, he studied her with disbelief, as though kindness itself was foreign. "I'm Adrian Cross," he finally said. Aisha blinked. The name was familiar. On billboards across the city, she had seen that name printed under bold headlines: Cross Enterprises, tech visionary, billionaire philanthropist. Her teacher once mentioned that Adrian Cross built half the city's renewable energy grid. "You're him? The rich guy?" Adrian smirked weakly. "Not feeling very rich right now." She bit her lip. This was bigger than she imagined. Someone had beaten a millionaire nearly to death. And if they were after him, they might come back. "Why would anyone hurt you?" she asked. His gaze darkened. "Because I refuse to sell. There are people, powerful people. They want my company, my patents, my research. I said no. Tonight, they made their answer clear. Aisha shivered. She suddenly understood the danger she was in. If they found him here, they would kill them both. Still, she tightened her fists. I won't let them. He studied her again, as if trying to understand where her fire came from. Aisha's world had taken everything from her, yet her eyes blazed with determination. Hours passed as she cared for him the best she could. She tore strips from her own shirt to bind his wounds. She found an old bucket to catch rainwater dripping from a crack in the roof, bringing it to his lips. Slowly, color returned to his face. Then, footsteps. Aisha froze. Voices echoed in the alley outside. Check everywhere, a deep voice growled. The boss wants him gone. Her heart pounded. They had come back. Adrian's eyes widened with alarm. They'll kill you if they see you. Aisha shook her head fiercely. No. I'll distract them. Before he could argue, she darted outside. The rain hit her like a wall as she stepped into the alley. 3 men in dark coats stood there, scanning the shadows. One of them spotted her. You. Kid. Seen a man come through here? Aisha swallowed her fear and forced her voice to steady. No. Just me. I was looking for cans to recycle. They exchanged glances. The tallest one sneered. Get lost, then. She nodded quickly, shuffling away, but deliberately led them down the opposite side of the street. Only when she was sure they were gone did she circle back to the laundromat. When she slipped inside, Adrian was staring at her with astonishment. You risked your life for me, he whispered. Aisha shrugged, trying to hide her trembling. I've been risking my life just living here. What's one more time? The turning point. By dawn, the storm had passed. Adrian was stronger now, able to stand with her help. But his face was grim. They'll keep looking, he said. As long as I'm alive, I'm a target. And now, you are too. Aisha's chest tightened. She thought of her brothers, her mother. If those men followed her home, her family would be in danger. What do we do? She asked. Adrian's jaw clenched. We fight back. He revealed something she hadn't expected. Hidden in his ruined suit jacket was a small data drive, waterproof and unbroken. All the evidence is here, proof of who's behind this. Corruption, illegal deals, everything. But I can't get it out alone. My enemies control the police. If I give this to the wrong hands, it vanishes. Aisha's eyes widened. So you need me? Adrian nodded. You're the only one they won't suspect. A child with nothing, that makes you invisible. The perfect ally. Her stomach flipped. She was just a 12-year-old girl. But looking into his battered face, she realized something. The city had ignored people like her for too long. Maybe this was her chance to do something that mattered. She took a deep breath. Tell me what to do. Climax. The plan was risky. Aisha would sneak the drive to a journalist Adrian trusted, one of the last honest voices in the city, hidden away in a tiny office on the west side. If she succeeded, the truth would spread before Adrian's enemies could silence it. Disguised in a hoodie and carrying her bread bag, Aisha set out. The streets buzzed with morning life, but she felt eyes everywhere. She walked quickly, forcing herself not to look back. Halfway there, she noticed a black car trailing her. Her pulse spiked. They had found her. Aisha darted into the subway, weaving through crowds, clutching the bread bag close. The men followed, pushing past commuters. She jumped onto a train just as the doors closed, heart racing as she watched them pound the glass from the platform. When the train screeched to her stop, she bolted upstairs, sprinting down cracked sidewalks until she reached the journalist's office. She burst inside, breathless, slamming the drive onto the desk. Mr. Vega. Adrian Cross sent me, she cried. The journalist, an older man with weary eyes, looked at her in shock. But when he saw the drive, his hands trembled. "You don't know what you've done, child," he whispered. "This could change everything." Behind her, the sound of screeching tires. The men had arrived. Before Aisha could panic, Mr. Vega hit a switch. Metal shutters slammed down over the windows. "You're safe here," he said firmly. And now, so is the truth. Ending. The story exploded within hours. Vega published the evidence everywhere: networks, papers, the web. Adrian's enemies were exposed: corrupt officials, corporate rivals, shadowy investors. Arrests followed, and the city reeled from the scandal. Adrian Cross, once presumed missing, appeared on live broadcast a week later. He was still bruised, but his voice was steady. "I owe my life to a brave young girl," he declared. "A child who showed more courage than men with armies of guards. Her name is Aisha Johnson. And from this day forward, I will ensure that children like her, forgotten by society, will never be invisible again." Cameras flashed as he introduced Aisha, standing nervously beside him in her patched hoodie. She had never been on television before, but when she looked out at the sea of faces, she held her head high. Adrian kept his promise. He funded programs in East Hollow, building schools, shelters, and safe spaces. Aisha's family received help, but more than that, her whole community rose with her. Late one evening, sitting on the steps of her new school, Aisha looked at the skyline. For the first time, the city lights didn't feel like they belonged to someone else. She whispered to herself, "I didn't just save him. I saved us." And though she was only 12, Aisha Johnson knew her story was just beginning.